Here we go. Okay, we got a microphone. We're ready to go. We're broadcasting. Don't pay attention to the crawl. It's old. There we go. Many more people have died than that. Speaking of dying, we have a theme song. I just made it up in my head, and Kevinly Daughter hasn't heard it, but she's going to help me with it. Welcome to Facts and Friends. I am your host, your Kevinly father, Kevin Williams. That's Kevinly Daughter, half of Kevinly Daughter over there. You ready to help me with the theme song?
No, let's do it.
Okay, it goes like this. You got to do the 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I was gonna do that at the end, like the cheer.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Facts and Friends. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Facts and Friends. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Facts and Friends. Welcome to Facts and Friends. That's our theme song. We'll work on that.
That was sad.
I'm sad.
Give us money.
We all should be sad. Speaking of sad, let's take a look at our friends on Fox and Friends this morning and see what they're up to. Just a quick broadcast this morning. We got things to do. We got places to go.
Like I have work to go.
She has work to go.
Bye.
I have people to do. Are you leaving us already?
Yeah, I have to go. I told you that.
You just came in to help us with the
I
theme
just wanted
song?
to finish my breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you for eating your breakfast and watching us momentarily.
You're welcome.
So that's it for Kevinly Daughter. Thumbs up. Make sure you like this broadcast if you like Kevinly Daughter. Hit the thumbs up down below. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Dr. Howard. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, who else is in here? Chuck. Good to see everybody. I just thought I would share my experience this morning watching Fox and Friends, if I can figure out how to do it here. So we'll do that. We'll see what's going on. Is it still snowing in New York? Are we going to have to watch coverage of snow? Yes. Yes, it snows places. I get that. Yes, people are having fun. Now, if it's pictures of dogs or other animals playing in the snow, I'm all for it. Or little kids seeing snow for the first time, that's fine. That's all good. If you want to chat in this broadcast, you may do so. We welcome your chat and or opinions. And the best place to do it is on YouTube, but you can do it from wherever you happen to be this morning or this afternoon or Easter morning if you're in Australia, as I understand it. Not really sure how the time zones work out there. Let's fast forward just a little bit here and see what they're talking about, see what they're outraged about today on Fox and Friends.
It's prudent to fight over that.
Okay, this is their opening, so we'll skip by this. And then they're so mad at Jen Psaki for being
okay
honest
with me. I mean, we love this.
Here we go. Hopefully we don't get too much coverage about the snow because, you know, it's snow. Yeah, that's what happens. Pretty much every winter there is snow. Snow in July, let me know. Cover that.
Seasons up here in New York because you get some snow. The kids love
I have 30 inches of snow in my house.
it. I know you need to
Okay, let's move on.
get that Skip Bedell thing that blows the snow
By the way, I'm jealous. I am so jelly of the snow.
out of your driveway.
You know, my neighbor, JR, and his son, Joseph, came over and helped me do my sidewalk yesterday. So hats off to them.
Nice.
Yeah, I have not had the opportunity to shovel my sidewalk
Oh, you gotta
since
do it.
All right,
1957.
let's keep going with the news here.
Brian was home, Ted.
So many orders and actions. They pretty much got the
Okay, here we go.
So that worked out.
fantastic. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. It's a very busy Wednesday. And speaking of busy, Joe Biden was very busy yesterday. He signed 3 more executive orders. He's
More accomplished in the first 2 weeks than any president in history. Does that sound familiar? Thing is, though, President Biden isn't bragging about this to the UN, and they're not laughing at him.
done so many orders and actions. They pretty much
Why is he presidenting? It hurts so badly.
got the Staples truck backed up at the White House. Just new pens for the president. So far, during his first 2 weeks, and he was sworn in 2
I mean, there's like 18 better jokes than that. But okay, yeah. The Staples truck backed up.
weeks ago, today he is
Look at that. 28 executive orders compared to 7 for Trump, 9 for Obama, 2 for Bush, Clinton for... Okay. Yeah, he's allowed to do that. There's a whole bunch of Trumpster fires caused by this cat right here. Good. Good. Keep doing what you got to do. Remember, there was an election.
signed 28 executive orders, as opposed to, as you can see, he has blown away all the previous presidents combined. Why did he do it? He actually had a good soundbite. Watch this.
Yes.
I want to make it clear, there's a lot of talk, with good reason, about the number of executive orders that I have signed. I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy.
There you go.
What I'm doing is
What did I just say? He's getting rid of Trumpster fires.
taking on the issues that 99% of
Hey, let's create 600 orphans. Let's do that. Well, you know what? I don't think that's good policy. Stop creating orphans. Stop presidenting!
that the last president of the United States, issued executive orders I thought were very counterproductive to our security, counterproductive to who we are as a country, particularly in the area of immigration.
Yes.
This is about how America is safer, stronger, more prosperous when we have a fair, orderly, and humane legal immigration system.
Okay, and so a good soundbite, Brian Ainsley, because he said, I'm not essentially making new law, I'm just eliminating bad policy, which is pretty much what every president says, just as they sign something to undo what the last president did.
Yeah, that's how it works. Well, I don't know if Steve's trying to dismiss it because of that or just stating the fact.
Just reversing Trump policy. And he was dealing with immigration yesterday, and it ends a public charge rule, which allowed immigration officials to deny green cards to immigrants who were on food stamps or Medicaid or in Section 8 housing. It also streamlines the naturalization of 9 million, migrants. Democrats say it's a more inclusive policy, and it orders a review of obstacles for immigrants put in place, he says, by President Trump. Bill McGurn with the Wall Street Journal, he says just shoving all this through by executive order does not fuel unity.
It's not shoving it through. This is the legal process for how this is done. There's no shoving it through. Nobody's jamming it down the throats of Americans. This is how law is made. Remember, this isn't just today. This didn't start 2 weeks ago. Joe started running in the primaries back in March or April of last year. Perhaps earlier. I don't even remember anymore. It seems like 14 years ago. But there were primaries. And then the choice was put before the American people. And 81 million people decided that, yes, we would like this guy to do what he said he is going to do. And to stop the other guy from doing what he says or what he's done, basically. And that's fine. This is how it works. This is what we like to call, and this is the technical term for it, democracy.
And he says that we need to go back to normal legislative process involving compromise.
Yep. Okay. First off.
Okay. Oh, here he comes. Here comes Kilmeade.
You have a lot of problems on your desk, some because you don't like the administration's last policies, and some because we're in the middle of a pandemic. There are things that have nothing to do. They're just circumstances. He's creating a problem.
What? What does that mean? They're just circumstances. You have a lot of problems. They're circumstances. Yes. They're just circumstances. Yes.
Problem. The Border Patrol is saying they're now seeing a surge at the border, but don't worry. They have come out and said, attention Central American people, I have a bullhorn here, not a good time to come. We're still working things out. They're not listening. They've already opened up another facility that can house 700 kids. You're about to create, everybody's saying they're seeing surges at the border. Now, they're going to move to naturalize 9 million migrants. They should say illegal aliens who came here without ID demanding citizenship. So they're going to find a way to do that. That should be done through legislation.
I mean, does it really matter? Does it affect anything if you call them illegal aliens versus migrants? What? Why? What is the point? By the way, not a crime to enter the United States. It's a civil offense, a civil infraction. Now, if you come back, if you've been already deported and you come back, that is a crime.
Along with border security, they're refusing to do that again. They're going to reunite families with their kids.
Oh my God!
Good luck with that.
Oh, rather, I thought, good idea. I thought he might continue that sentence with, they're going to reunite families with their children. Good idea. Nope. Good luck with that. Thank you. It's very nice of you. I also wish good luck to the little children to find their parents. I'm glad we're on the same page here, Brian. Let's go back.
They should say illegal aliens who came here without ID demanding citizenship. So they're going to find a way to do that. That should be done through legislation along with border security. They're refusing to do that again.
No, they're not refusing to do that. They want to do that.
They're going to reunite families with their kids.
Oh, the horror!
Good luck with that. The Trump administration tried to do it, and for the most part,
the Trump administration failed at just about everything they tried to do, except lighting the Trumpster fires. That's a sweeping statement. The Trump administration succeeded at doing a lot of what they tried to do, which is why Biden has to pass the executive orders.
A lot of these kids were coming by themselves with people that got hired to bring them across the border. They were using those kids because of the policy that was there before. On top of that, when he talks about reversing orders...
Okay, so maybe try and get them back with their parents is what we're saying. Rather than creating at least 600 orphans. The number goes up every time that, oh, hey, we've got these kids here. Has anyone counted these kids? Where are your parents? No idea? Okay.
He's also reversing the Remain in Mexico order. And can I just say this? We're in the middle of a pandemic. We don't let the British in. We're not letting the French fly here. But we're letting anybody who wants to come across the border, and our border agents have to take them, bring them in. We don't know if they just came off a rapid test. Were they just waiting at Walgreens? Do they have their paperwork? Or are they just demanding asylum? To me, this is the absolute wrong policy.
Wow. What? I wouldn't worry about it. I think Brian's concern is misdirected because this was way back in March. We have plenty of tests. Everybody can get a COVID test. This is back from a year ago. This is his guy.
Anybody that wants a test can get a test. That's what I would just say that we.
So we're fine. Just give everybody who wants a test gets a test. Give them tests, and then we know. Oh, you got COVID? We need to quarantine you. I mean, they're essentially quarantined anyway. But you need a special cell. We're going to quarantine you. We're going to quarantine everybody you came in with. That's your group. We need space. I get it. It's difficult. Part of the process. Also, they're what are those illegal immigrants? What are they called? Crap. There's a word for them. There's a word. Humans.
This is about agenda. It's not about the country.
Yeah, how was church the other day there, Brian? Did you go to church on Sunday? Whatsoever you do.
Brandon Judd was there with the president. They had the stops and starts. It wasn't perfect, but they had worked it out. Here's what he said about what he's seeing.
When I go out and I patrol the border, I look back at the Trump administration, and their policies allowed me to be effective. They allowed me to be successful. It allowed me to protect the American public. Taking away those effective policies, again, we understand it's politics, but to take away effective policies in...
So, to take away the ability to separate children from their families stops him from doing his job. I'm not saying he doesn't have some valid points in there, but what Biden has done so far does not ineffectualize his ability. And the whole asylum seekers have to stay in Mexico, having them stay in the United States does not stop Judd from doing his job.
Not replace them.
I'll be honest with you. So yesterday... So Dr. Howard, your dad, who is 71 years old, cannot get tested or vaccinated? Why can't he get vaccinated? Are there regulations there about vaccines? Speaking of vaccines, and the reason I haven't actually read the executive orders from yesterday, usually I like to do that. I like to go to the actual source. I've let you down. I had my second shingles vaccine 2 days ago. And yesterday, it knocked me on my ass. I was so tired. I was so loopy. I was so out of it. It was like being a little bit tipsy, but without the fun. But I made it. I made it through the night. Today, I feel pretty good. Slept about 6 hours. Woke up. feeling good, ready to go about my day. So, a little bit tired for an evening or shingles. 50-50. I want to be fair. Let's give everyone a shot.
Them with anything that will help us do our jobs just does.
I want to be very clear. Do not stop yourself from getting the shingles vaccine because I got a little tired. Some people get a little sore. Some people, and wait, my left arm is sore if I jab at it. So I'm going to stop doing this. Ow! Stop! Ow! See? Ow! Stop. Do you see what I put myself through for you guys? And some people get sick. Some people get flu-like symptoms from the shingles vaccine. So much better than shingles. I've known a couple of people who got shingles, and I trust them that it's much, much worse. So hopefully I will remain shingles-free. I never had the chicken pox. And whether you had the chicken pox or not, you're still supposed to get the shingles vaccine. So get out there and get your shingles vaccine, people, if you're over 50. Look up the science on it first, though. Look up the recommendations. That's what I read, but I'm not a doctor.
Doesn't make sense.
And I don't play anything on TV right now. So,
You know, and what's interesting is there's a news story today we'll get to eventually, and that is apparently the Department of Justice.
Hold on, everybody. Fox and Friends is going to get to a news story eventually today. It's a big day for them.
Is going after Elon Musk.
Dr. Howard says, because there aren't enough vaccines in the area where my father lives, because people from out of state are getting them before the people who live here and have lived here 30 plus years. So you're hopefully your dad will get the vaccine. We have a vaccine shortage. We still have a vaccine shortage. And there's still 20 million vaccines that the Trump administration said existed. Nobody knows where they are. And those people are not telling us. And it's entirely likely those vaccines didn't exist in the first place. Something happened yesterday. In 11 states, CVS is going to start carrying the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, not the shingles vaccine. We've moved on from that. It's enough about me. 11 states, the government is going to start sending vaccines to the pharmacies directly, which is kind of what West Virginia has done, and West Virginia has been extremely successful in getting vaccines into people. So we're going with that model, but on a national basis. Good morning, Yusuf. Hi, Deidre. Oh yeah, shingles are terrible, Deidre. Your grandfather had them? No, I don't recommend them. I'm just going to come out and say, I know that's not a popular view, but I am anti-shingles. Even on roofs. I want to see composite, no shingles. Tin roofs only.
Musk and
specifically for rain.
SpaceX, because apparently they did not hire somebody because they were not an American citizen. And apparently the Department of Justice is okay with this American corporation hiring.
So the vaccine process will speed up. Good news about AstraZeneca yesterday and this morning, depending on what time zone you are in. AstraZeneca proving to be quite effective, especially if they split it up into 2 shots. We thought it was less effective. The original studies showed it was a little less effective than it actually is. It's just a matter of time. So after an extended period of time, your body has more ability to produce the antibodies. It learns itself better. So the great news for AstraZeneca, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is coming once the FDA approves it. Some countries are already underway with multiple vaccines. Some countries only have 1 vaccine, some countries 2. Some countries have no vaccines. But with the amount of vaccine slated to come to the United States, we will get covered at some point.
Somebody who is in the country, perhaps illegally.
The America Last
more
policy.
On that. Crazy. All right. Meanwhile, it is 6:07
America first, America last, not a thing. It doesn't mean anything.
Here in New York City. Same.
By the way, the Biden administration has pledged that every American who wants a vaccine will get one before we start supplying other countries with vaccines. The trouble is, which is good. So there's your America first right there. Americans get the vaccine first. Our supply goes to Americans first. I get that. But also an issue because we keep having people come in from other countries. So, by the way, once we get to the point where that we have enough vaccine doses, as migrants come across the border, as they're captured, if they're coming across illegally, shoot them up. You want to be an American citizen? One of the things you have to do is get a vaccine. I have no problem with that. It's just like when you go and visit another country. When I was 7 and I moved to Africa, I had to get all kinds of inoculations.
Time as Washington.
Or jabs, as they called them there.
Washington, D.C., where Griff Jenkins joins us with the very latest on that gigantic $79 gazillion COVID relief bill.
Good morning, Steve Ainsley and Brian.
It's funny because Americans are suffering. 79 gazillion.
Here's what you need to know. The Go It Alone train has officially left the station. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer taking the first step in pushing this nearly $2 trillion package through aboard the Reconciliation Express, sidestepping Republicans, saying the president warned them their offer wasn't good enough.
He said that he told Senate Republicans that the $600 billion that they proposed was way too small.
Yeah, so Biden proposed 1.9 trillion. Republicans came in at less than a third. Less than a third of that. And the Republicans' big complaint is this money isn't targeted. If they were serious about targeting the money based on needs, they wouldn't be lowering the amount of assistance for unemployment. They slashed 3 months off unemployment. They've taken a 25% of what Biden wants to give to the unemployed and slashed that. Trust me, I'm unemployed right now, and just because of the way the laws work with the unemployment, I'm getting $1,000 a month. When I was actually living in a place, when I could afford to live in a place with Kevin Lee daughter, our rent alone was $2,000. That doesn't include electricity. That doesn't include my car payment. That doesn't include groceries. That doesn't include healthcare. So Biden wants to give the unemployed an extra $400 a week. It was $600 for a while, and that was good. That was just enough to be like, oh, you know what? I can afford to once a week. Let's find a small business, and we would. This was when we were up in Seattle. What we should do is we should help somebody. Let's go and eat at that new burger place. I want to give a shout out if you happen to be in the Seattle area, and I cannot remember. Oh. Otter Bar, the Otter Bar, like otter, the animals that swim in the sea, OTTER. Otter Burger, decent food, and good people. They opened like 2 or 3 months before the pandemic hit. They purchased it and opened up a little restaurant in Eastlake. If you happen to be near Eastlake in Seattle, say hi to the folks at Otter Bar. Order them for pickup. They're decent burgers. And they do a lot of the grass-fed beef and stuff like that if you're into that. But anyway, support your small business. But when I was getting that $600, I made it a point to try and support local businesses to help that money trickle down, or in this case, trickle up to the business owners that were suffering. I've been a small business owner. I have no idea how anyone is surviving right now. And kudos to you, small business owners of America, because you have not been given the relief that you deserve. Part of what Joe Biden would like to give you. But the Republicans came in and said 1/3 of that, please. And this is only 10 Republicans out of 40, or out of 50 in the Senate, by the way. 10 of them showed up.
Democrats, Republicans, Independents support going through reconciliation if we have to.
But here's the thing. So I want to be clear here. Otter Bar is delicious. Okay, they're delicious. If I'm very picky about my burgers. If it's something like, oh my God, this is amazing, I would be like, guys, this is the best. But here's burgers. They're very good burgers. Decent is the wrong word. What I like about them is that they're decent people. And at one point, they got cheese curds. The cheese curds are fantastic. But everybody's cheese curds are fantastic. But you can't find them, right? So anyway, I think they made me a special order or something at cheese curds. Plus, I have a very low bar when it comes to burgers. If I say don't put pickles on my burger and ruin it, and they give me the burger without the pickles, I'm a happy boy. And that's what they did. They never screwed up my order. And for me, that makes it well worth it. So what I'm saying is, the food to me is secondary. Supporting other Americans, other small business owners, in this case, that to me is more important. When I had that little extra money, even though I was using it to pay my bills, I'd say, we got a little bit of a cushion here. Let's try and spread that around some. because they weren't on unemployment. They were working. At Random says, Rachel's rundown the other night of how the Republicans did to the stimulus package in 2009 was great. Yeah, in 2009, the Republicans, they delayed the stimulus almost a year, 9 months. And then only a handful of them voted for it anyway. They watered it down, and then they didn't vote for it. Same thing with Obamacare. They watered it down. They had over 200 changes to Obamacare. They made the marketplace. All of the things that, well, that doesn't work with Obamacare. Those are Republican ideas. Perhaps not every single one, but about 200. Trying to remember now. Was it? I think the Republicans made, it was almost 200. Let's just say 188. They made all those changes, and then not a single one of them voted for the changes that they made. This is a game to them. This is Lucy and the football. Biden comes in, and he's like, you know what? I may be Charlie Brown, but I'm kicking the fuck out of that football. Lucy's like, okay, Charlie, do you want to play? Boom!
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says it's a missed opportunity for bipartisanship.
I think our 10 members laid out a proposal that could have gotten broad bipartisan support, given the new administration a chance to get a bipartisan victory here early.
In addition to the $1.9 trillion price tag, you can see here.
Todd, I'm so bored of this already. Todd Sutler says, so in all honesty, what did the Republicans get out of shorting the money? They're being fiscally responsible. Okay, these are the same Republicans who voted for a tax cut that gave $30,000 on average to the 1% and increased our deficit from $500 billion to $1 trillion. That's the money that we take in every year versus the money that we spend. So they cut the amount of money coming in and signed the bills, voted for the bills, the spending packages under Trump. So our deficit, and that was before the virus. I'm talking before the virus. Trump came into office, the debt, the national debt, the amount of money we actually owe, all of the years combined, was at $19 trillion. Now it's almost $28 trillion in 4 years. Increased it by almost 50% in just 4 years. At Random said something too there. Says they're still afloat. At Random's in Seattle. So they're still afloat. Oh, so the Otter Bar is still afloat. They have a terrace, and they got broken into. Oh, dear. Well, next time I'm in Seattle, I'm going to try and order from the Otter Bar. Todd Studler, is it so we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and get to work? I'm ready to work. I want to work. Happy to work. And you know, you guys know I've been auditioning. I've been trying to do stuff. Had an audition for a Netflix show, and they're like, well, we were looking for somebody with a pot belly. And trust me, I've been trying to get that pot belly. Speaking of which, let's get back to this.
This bill has the $1,400 stimulus checks, a $400 per week unemployment boost, and $350 billion for state and local governments. But wait, it's not.
Hold on. Okay, the $350 for state and local governments. Who do you think pays your police officers? The Republicans have no interest in paying the police officers. Hell, President Trump sent a mob to go kill police officers. Speaking of Rachel, I did watch a little bit of Rachel last night, and she went through, according to the police union, the Capitol Hill Police Union, the number of police officers who have been injured, seriously injured from the mob. More than 100. One guy's going to be blind in one eye. Of course, Officer Sicknick was killed. 2 other officers committed suicide since then. So we've got 3 dead cops, dozens, if not hundreds, of cops who were seriously injured.
Not a done deal. Watch Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, who voted to start the process yesterday, but stopped short of a final approval. Manchin is a critical vote in a razor-thin 50-50 split Senate because Democrats cannot afford to lose a single one to pass it. And we should point out this is not the first time reconciliation has been used. Obamacare did it. Obama did it with Obamacare, and Trump did it with tax cuts. But this sets a new tone after President Biden's calls for unity on Inauguration Day. Brian?
No, it doesn't. He's welcomed unity. The Republicans are welcome to come on board. But $600 billion instead of 1.9, that's not compromise. That's lowballing. That's walking into a car dealer and going, that new Maserati, I'll give you $20. Take it or leave it. The negotiations have only just begun, and there has been no vote on it. This is just pushing it forward.
Ainsley, Steve?
All right, thank you, Griff. That's why you have this group of progressives that are now looking for other individuals to run against Joe Manchin.
I should say there's been no final vote on it.
And to run against Kristen Sinema, because they're saying they're standing in the way of their progressive agenda. Joe Manchin, he says that he's going to make sure that this bill is bipartisan. Listen.
I made it very clear from the President of the United States to all of my colleagues, we're going to make this work in a bipartisan way. My friends on the other side are going to have input, and we're going to do something that we agree on. I'm not going to do it just down the lines of just saying party line vote. It has to make sense. And if it's out of the realm that makes sense and what we've worked on together, we've built too much trust up among each other to allow this to fall apart. So they can count on me to make sure that we do everything to make this bipartisan.
That was on Special Report.
And changes will be made, and any Republicans who want to get involved and offer substances, never mind. I can't say substantive.
He went on to say he doesn't think that the $15 minimum wage will make it in the COVID relief bill.
Because it's all about reconciliation. It has to do specifically with budget issues, and $15 an hour.
Here's how you fix it. Reconciliation has to do with budget issues. He's absolutely correct. But remember, the Republicans squeezed opening up the Anwar oil reserves into the tax cut plan that was passed through reconciliation. Here, let's let the oil companies drill in the Arctic, something that we've been trying to do for 40 years. Reagan was trying to do that. And it passed as part of the tax bill. But for some reason, we can't put the $15 an hour minimum wage in there? It's ridiculous. Very easy. What you do is you say, we're going to $15 an hour. Business owners, small business owners that don't have this many employees or whatever, we will supplement you. The federal government will supplement you $1. And they don't raise it to $15 instantly. Typically, it goes up over the course of 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's at $7.50 now or whatever it's at. Okay, so we're going to give you $2. And it's going to go to, so you've got to come up with $1. We're going to give you $2 for 2 years. Then we're going to give you another $1 for a year as it goes up $2. And you get to 15 eventually. And then it becomes a budget item. Okay? You want to target people? You want to help the people by targeting them, Republicans? Target the people working for $7.36 an hour.
It's not.
Yeah, so he said he doesn't want that. He said it doesn't make sense.
But oil drilling is a budgetary concern.
For people in West Virginia. Hey, good luck with those liberal groups going after Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. They got elected as moderates and Republicans.
He's wishing everyone good luck today. Look at that. Look at that face. You're a douchebag. Mr. Kilmeade.
States, you go after them, good luck. Also, in Manchin's case, he's got 5 years left. You got plenty of time to get some bumper stickers together. And what a message that is for Democrats. Because someone's going to stand up and reach across the aisle like the president outlined.
Yeah,
on Inauguration Day, you're going to go get him on the left and send your vice president to those states to try to push you to do what the president wants? What a terrible move. What a huge mistake that was. And on Joe Manchin, there's a pressure on him. He voted to have simple reconciliation, so they could do it on a party line vote right now. He could have made a stand and said, I'm not going to do that, and that would have made a difference because Warner's...
Yeah, all these threats to Joe Manchin that you're hearing, the people aren't going to forget this Joe Manchin. No, he's good. He ran for office in 2018, so he's not up again for another 4 years in terms of election. It's okay. He'll be fine. No one is going to remember this in 4 years.
back from his quarantine, and Pat Toomey missed the vote yesterday, but had he not voted, it would have stopped it in its tracks at the moment. So I guess he's hoping that there'll be some negotiation there. So also, I don't know if Sinema's on board with this too. And among the people that are upset by what Joe Manchin's done, Joe Manchin's upset that the XL pipeline was canned, as is John Tester upset. So I'm wondering how many Democrats are going to go for this job loss program that Joe Biden's putting together.
And we're going to talk to a couple of people who lost their jobs because of the president's plan to pull that permit, coming up in the next hour of Fox and Friends. Meanwhile, we have told
The permit for the foreign energy? Kevin McCarthy just tweeted this morning something about American energy should be made here in America and stop the XL pipeline because it's from Canada.
told you on this channel for a very long time about how mainstream media has...
I wonder if Kevin McCarthy actually knows that Alberta, where the oil comes from, is part of Canada. I wonder if he even knows that Canada is not actually like a territory of the States.
Censored conservative voices. It's really gotten bad with big tech, those monster monopolies over the last year or so, particularly in the run-up.
Monster monopolies or free services that allow you to express your viewpoint. I mean, whatever you want to call them.
To the election. But now, you know...
all of those several monster monopolies.
We hear so much about, there's so much disinformation coming from both sides. You hear each side accusing the other. So there's the New York Times, which today, this is my favorite story.
Okay.
There's an article written by the Times technology columnist, a fellow by the name of Kevin Roose. And essentially what he's saying is, the Biden administration can help solve our reality crisis if they came up with essentially a reality czar.
Yeah.
Somebody in the, think about this, somebody in the government who said, and just imagine who that person would be in this government, don't know who it would be, but you know exactly what they would stand for. They would say, oh, you know, these people say this and those people say that. I say the truth is, and then boom, you've got the stamp of the federal government. Well, Ainsley, this is being widely criticized, but nonetheless, we should hear what he has to say about this terrible idea.
Who's to say who the arbiter of truth is, though? They appoint someone to...
There's no arbiter of truth. There's just truth. You can't arbitrate it. There's reality and there's not reality, and there are figures that are verifiable. There's actual truth. You don't get to decide what it is. It exists. That's the problem. Is that, oh, every side has two stories. No. We breathe oxygen from the atmosphere. That's that. We exhale carbon dioxide. That's that. That's the truth.
Determine what free speech looks like?
Truth is whatever we say it is.
Exactly. So this is what the article says. It says several experts that I spoke with recommended that the Biden administration put together a cross-agency task force to tackle disinformation and domestic extremism, which would be led by something like a reality czar.
Great.
This task force could also meet regularly with tech platforms and push for structural changes that could help those companies tackle their own extremism and misinformation problems, and it could become the tip of the spear for the federal government's response to the reality crisis. He spoke to all of these professors at Ivy League schools with their input, but these are some of the schools that are the cancel culture. If you're a conservative, you're canceled. You're kicked off the advisory board.
They cite as examples 30% of Republicans had a favorable view of QAnon, and 70% of Republicans believe Trump legitimately won the election. 40% of Americans, including plenty of Democrats, believe the baseless theory that COVID-19 was manufactured in a Chinese lab. Really? Can someone get into that Chinese lab? There you go into the dicey situation. The examples that they use, if he even wanted to pretend to be balanced with this approach,
it might have actually come from a Chinese lab, but it wasn't manufactured there. It's a naturally occurring virus. There's nothing about the virus itself that is in any way indicative of man meddling in it. That's what scientists have established. You know, scientists who they deal with the truth. Now, it's possible that it was contained within that lab, that it was discovered and contained within that lab, and then for some reason released, or for no reason whatsoever, released. but it wasn't manufactured by China in a lab to be released to the general public.
I don't know, Antifa has a bit of a problem for the last 10 years. In Seattle, maybe last night. In Portland, maybe now. Burning down buildings, attacking people, wearing stocking caps. That would be included with the so-called right-wing groups that are problematic.
No, it's not just the right-wing groups. It's any group doing that. Any group spreading it's disinformation. Here's the thing. I don't remember ever seeing any Antifa disinformation. There's no Antifa office. I can't just call up and say, I want to join Antifa. With the Proud Boys, you can. There are people in charge of that movement. And keep in mind, it's not a left-wing thing. The day after the inauguration, the Antifa was out there, or basically it's anarchists. They're confused with Antifa. And they were out there chanting F Joe Biden in Portland and spray painting it on the DNC offices. So they're not Biden supporters. They're Antifa. They hate everything. Actually, no one's really even sure what because it's a blanket. As the FBI said, it's an ideology, but we don't even really know what the ideology is.
Kimberly Strassel weighed in.
Oh, good.
And that is the really rich part of it.
Oh my God, I've only seen her byline with her little picture, her little black and white, there's a word for it. I don't even know what the word is, but her little black and white graphic looks nothing like that. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever actually seen her before, and I'm not going to comment on a woman's looks. I'm going to let her looks speak for themselves.
About this. I mean, here's a piece that is wringing its hands over the mainstreaming of crazy, even as it mainstreams crazy. It was only a couple of weeks ago that Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez suggested that we have a truth commission in Congress that the media should come in front of. She was laughed at, and yet 2 weeks later, here we are. And
I don't know anything about that, so okay.
The New York Times is treating that as a serious idea, and quoting people with
the push of the article by Kevin Roose is saying, look, the government should establish and work with Facebook, etc., to help them with their algorithms, which isn't a bad idea. They do need help with their. The trouble is, we're all in. Not an avatar, but there's a special with the black and white. You know the New York Times pictures? Hold on, I can probably show you one. Let's see if Kevin Roose has one. No, he has an actual black and white picture, but it looks like newsprint, like a dot matrix printer going across. Well, you know what? I can find it for you. We don't have time for this right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. What's her name? Kimberly Strassel. How do we spell it? Strassel. Okay, I have to spell Kimberly correctly, and then I'll do better with that. Okay, and okay, not a thing. Does she spell Kimberly strangely? Let's see if it comes up. There it is. Okay, hold on, here it comes. This person is supposed to be that person. This person, that person. This person, that person. Nope.
respectable positions, suggesting this indeed should become a reality in the Biden administration. It's beyond parody.
Beyond parody might be Adam Schiff might get himself in trouble on his little antics with the whole Russia investigation. And Reason Magazine's Matt Welch brought up an example. He says, I'm looking forward to the reality czar's deal with Joe Biden's claim to have been arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela, which we all know didn't happen.
Yeah, this is a silly idea, and as I said, roundly criticized. A Johns Hopkins economic professor quoted...
That's not the point of the article, but okay.
Orwell has said, and just think about this, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. So is that what you really want? A truth commission?
Like a 9/11 commission.
A reality czar.
It won't be like a 9/11 commission, and it'll basically be a fact-checking organization if it happens, and it's just an idea from the tech guy at the New York Times. So, no. I mean, there's already departments in the government that sort of have to do this stuff anyway. Every department. For example, the guy who's in charge of the FBI, it's his job to take a look at these claims and then testify in front of Congress saying, yeah, that's not true. Like he did with Antifa and then got yelled at. Christopher Wray is still in his position, which is interesting.
I'm telling you, this is the truth.
Whoa. This is... Hold on. What is happening? Marcy just sent me what... Okay. This is Kimberly. If I'm understanding correctly, this is Kimberly Strassel. That's Kimberly Strassel. Okay. Our looks change as we go forward in life. What I'm saying is that Avatar looks nothing like her. Not to say that mine does. I got a lot more hair now. Let's jump forward. Hey, we're done, kids. I got to get going here.
I'm telling you, these are the headlines. I'm telling you, here's Jilly and Millie with them.
And I'm telling you, I'm going to start your head.
Okay, now that we're back to real news, I'm going to let it go. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you probably later on in the day. I'm feeling so much better after the shingles vaccine has had its way with me. I actually scheduled a COVID test for later today, just in case. And I think I'm going to cancel that because I don't feel ill anymore. Should I take it anyway? Should I just go get the COVID test just to be on the safe side? Here's the deal. Kevin Lee Daughter has been out working in this little restaurant cafe thing. And that just opens up risks. And as we know, yesterday, producer Joanna, her daughter, who lives alone in Philadelphia, has it and is sick and claims that she hasn't done anything, has barely gone anywhere, has not interacted with many people, always wears a mask, etc., etc. I don't know. We're talking about a 20-year-old, but if we take him at our word, yes, this disease is highly contagious. Get it done to know. Okay, well, I'll see how I feel later in the day. But my symptoms, which were basically I got really tired, are completely in line with what you would get from the shot. Okay, so I'll take it. All right, you guys say I should take it. I will take it because you're in charge. And speaking of being in charge, I'm ending the stream. So 3, 2, 1. I actually have to wait because if I end it on my end, it actually cuts off before I say that I'm ending it. I don't know why, but that's the way it works.